Hi guys, and welcome to the Fleetwood vs Sunderland match preview. So Sunderland will be going away from home this weekend, hoping to continue their brilliant run of form at the moment, but it is not going to be easy, of course. Fleetwood, they're currently 17th in the league, which doesn't look great. It doesn't make for good reading. They did lose the opening 3 games of the season, but they've just recently come away with a fantastic win, a phenomenal win actually, a 4-2 win against Rotherham away from home, where of course for me I thought without Rotherham, I actually predicted them to win the league before the season started. Of course they've had an indifferent start to the season themselves, but that's a brilliant result to get 4 goals away from home against a team like Rotherham. Although if you do have a look at the match stats, of course I didn't watch the games, we can't speak too much of it, and I suppose in one way or the other you can give credit, or you're going to have to give credit to Fleetwood, because they only had the 9 shots. Fleetwood, they had 5 shots on target, and 4 of them they all went in. So that's brilliant for Fleetwood. It shows that they are pretty clinical. You had Rotherham who had 20 shots against Fleetwood, of course. Against Fleetwood, who, of course, they only managed to get the 2 goals in the back of the net through that conversion rate. But with Fleetwood, I think, like I say, they lost the first 3 games of the season. They managed to turn it around. They got themselves a win against Cheltenham. They drew against Plymouth, who were a good side as well this season. And of course, the win against Cheltenham, Rotherham as well. So they've turned it around. They're on a bit of a run of form at the minute, unbeaten in the last 3. So they're not going to be they are going to be a difficult team, should I say, at Highbury as well. If we want to have a look at the type of style that Fleetwood play in recent seasons, particularly, they've always been very difficult, particularly when they were under Joey Dickhead. They were a nightmare to play against. We beat them last time we played them, and we managed to break that duck. But of course, Joey Barton wasn't there at the time. It's now Simon Grayson, former Sunderland man, and a man who I regularly do an impression of, or at least I used to anyway. But yeah, so it's probably at his level for me, Simon Grayson. I think he's got a brilliant record in League One in terms of promotions anyway. I think he'll be okay for Fleetwood, and they're a hard-working side regardless of the manager anyway. Fleetwood, they are a very hard-working, difficult side to beat, really in your face, and usually relatively physical as well. So that should be an interesting battle on Saturday. And if you have a look at their recent sort of statistics as well, of course, stats don't mean everything, but it's just a little interesting thing that I noticed. That the first, of course, we've all played 6 games, they've played 6 games. The opening 3 games they had over 10 shots, but their previous 3 games where they're actually more positive results, they've had less than 10 shots in every single game, but it just shows that they've been more prolific. So for example, for the first 3 games, they lost all 3, but they were having sort of 11, 12, 13, 14 shots, and now they're only getting sort of 7, 8, 9, and they're doing more positively. So it depends on how you look at it. Is it more of a counter-attacking play that they're going for now? But they've taken the chances, so we need to be able to defend and defend resolutely, which, to be fair, for the most part, we have been doing so far this season. It's just set pieces for me that really worry me. So before we do go into my preferred Sunderland starting 11, Lee Johnson has just recently done their pre-match press conference. He's discussed sort of niggles and injuries. He did say that Jamali has been training. He's actually doing full training now at the moment, except he's nowhere near sort of ready for a 90-minute game or coming to play a game as it is. It's still looking some way off, probably more towards the back end of the year or early next year. Hume has been training as well, but of course he's very hit and miss. He keeps getting niggles with injuries, so we'll have to see how that is. But at the moment, luckily for us, of course, I want those 2 to get back to full fitness to help us out, but luckily that doesn't affect our starting 11. Now, of course, we do have one missing player from the starting 11, and that is Tom Flanagan, who picked up a yellow, or 1 yellow too many in the past game, so he's suspended for this game. And with that in mind, this is my Sunderland preferred 11. So I've gone pretty much unchanged, apart from the introduction of Bailey Wright at the back. So we have Hoffman in goal, Sirkin, Doyle and Bailey Wright. I could have maybe gone for Alves, but I just feel like Doyle works very well with a more sort of experienced head, and I think that's why, or at least it's helped Flanagan alongside him in recent times. So I do think Bailey Wright would probably be the right call there alongside Doyle there. Of course, Winchester at right back. He's just looked so good, Winchester. He doesn't look out of place in any way, shape or form in that right back position, keeping Huggins out as well. So we have Dan Neil and Luke O'Nien in the middle. I have a small feeling that Luke O'Nien will be rested for this game, or maybe at least changed, because he has this recurring shoulder injury. I think it popped out again last weekend, or at least he looked like he was struggling with it throughout a couple of periods of the game. So there might be a chance we see someone else come in, but for me, I would still go with Dan Neil and Luke O'Nien. I think they complement each other so well. You know, they can really dig in, get hard, they're tenacious. They can track back defensively, but going forward, they can do a job as well, particularly Dan Neil. Now, up front, we have the usual suspects with McGeady, Embleton, and Gooch, and then Stewart up top as well. It wouldn't surprise me if Giacu does come on and features later on in the game and comes off the bench as a sub. But for me, I feel like this side here and this starting 11 would be enough to get as a result at Fleetwood. So now we will go to my score predictions, and it's going to be a difficult game. I know it is. It's always a difficult game at Highbury. It's never easy. It's always a difficult physical display, sometimes scrappy as well. And I think that might be the case again this Saturday in Fleetwood. So I am going to go for a Sunderland win, but I think it is going to be a 2-1 Sunderland win. I think we will concede. I think for me that worries me the most. I think just in general open play, defensively, we don't look too bad. We're actually quite organised and we look pretty decent. It's set plays that for me is a nightmare. I think we've looked very shaky, at least from set plays, be it corners, free kicks, what have you. I think we've looked very shaky, and I think we need to work on that. And of course, as well, with Bailey Wright coming in, even though I do rate Bailey Wright, it's still going to disrupt the partnership that was starting to blossom between Flanagan and Doyle. So now that could change things a little bit. But again, you do have the experience there, so hopefully it shouldn't change too much. Although I need to give credit to Flanagan. He's been absolutely fantastic so far this season. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I do think Stewart will get himself back on the score sheet, and I'm hoping, this is what I'm going for, I'm going to go for a McGeady goal as well to get the winner. I think Stewart will score first. I think Fleetwood will equalise, and I'll say McGeady will get his first, well, not his first goal, well, his first goal in a while anyway, for Haydn McGeady to make it 2-1 and get us the winner. So that is going to be my predictions for the game. What is yours? Let me know in a comment down below. And what starting 11 would you go with as well? Remember to leave it all down in the comments. But if you have enjoyed, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.